Alright, what's going on, y'all? D-Ray Godson,
Patrick
here
Gober.
with Patrick Gober. It is March 18th, 2015. It's about going on 10 o'clock now. For everybody that done had a lot of skepticism concerning the side of the story and if this man is telling the truth or not, well, now what we have here is the police reports from the LPD concerning the events that took place on March
16th, I think. No, March 13th.
March 13th. Alright. In the last video, Patrick Gober stated that he was arrested at the hospital, correct?
Yes, sir.
Alright. He went down there to visit his girlfriend. Whatever took place, the police came in because he had warrants. I'm going to read to you now the reason why they say they went to the hospital to arrest him, alright? They said on March 12th, 2015 at 4:03 a.m., Patrick Sean Gober was arrested at Lexington Medical Center, 250 Hospital Drive, on a warrant for resisting arrest. Now, this resisting arrest warrant was issued before this night for a previous incident in which Mr. Hull came out to the current address we have right now and tried to serve warrants on Mr. Gober. Mr. Gober ran, correct?
Yes, sir.
You're not denying that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so they came out to serve this warrant along with another warrant they had cited saying that Patrick Gober was coming to serve the warrant for a breaking and entering and a larceny that he's going to have to go to court for. Not denying that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so the reason they came out to the hospital was to arrest the man for prior warrants. All right, the man submitted the handcuffs,
Yes, sir.
was placed in the car under arrest. That will be shown on videotape at the hospital. He was placed in the car. And Mr. Gober, at what point in time did they start making threats on your life?
Right when I was coming out of the magistrate's office, heading into the jail.
Coming out of the magistrate's office, headed into the jail, they made threats to beat this man. Now let me finish this warrant first of all. I'm going to tell you what it says. This report says they went out to the jail to serve a warrant on Mr. Gober for resisting arrest when they tried to serve a warrant on him previously. He was brought before the Davidson County Magistrate and released with a $5,000 unsecured bond and was scheduled to appear in court on the 17th. Released with a $5,000 secured bond. All right, unsecured bond. Okay. After they picked him up for the breaking and entering warrants, they said they took him up to the Davidson County Jail. He was took before a magistrate and was released again with a $5,000 unsecured bond. Mr. Gober, if they released you with an unsecured bond, why would they have to walk you into the jail?
That's exactly right, D-Ray. They wouldn't. If I'd have been released with an unsecured bond, I'd have walked out a free man that night.
They would have let you go right there in the
Yes,
magistrate's
sir.
office, correct?
Yes, sir.
So they had no reason to walk you into the Davidson County Detention Center.
At all.
And while they're walking you in, this is the time they're claiming they're going to whoop you.
Yes, sir.
They've been waiting to get their hands on you.
Yes, sir.
All right. What we have here is another report. Second officer, same night. Now tell me how this differs. On March 12th, 2015, 5 a.m., Patrick Sean Gober was cited and released at 110 West Center Street, Davidson County Jail for resisting arrest. Was cited and released. Gober did resist Officer Williams by running away from Officer Williams while Officer Williams was walking Gober into the Davidson County Jail. Gober was issued a citation and released with the Lexington District Court date of April 17th. Okay, now, before we get all confused, they saying they took him to the magistrate for these warrants that they came out and arrested him for at the hospital and then released him. Now, why would they have to walk him into jail if he was released on an unsecured bond? Now, how many times have you seen a man get a $5,000 unsecured bond for resisting arrest warrants and breaking and entering warrants? Why would they give a man a $5,000 unsecured bond?
They don't.
You ain't never seen that. I done seen people get $15,000 bonds just for not coming to court. You see what I'm saying? So they picked him up for running and then gave him a $5,000 unsecured bond, cited and released.
Also, ain't none of the times correct.
None of the times, because we have 4:03, we have 5 a.m. But The hospital didn't notify the family that Mr. Gober was in the hospital undergoing surgery until 7 p.m. Now, what I need to understand is, how did Mr. Gober end up in the hospital if he was released on an unsecured bond? If he did resist arrest and was released, what was the need to put your hands on the man? Why would he have been in handcuffs running from the detention center, which it says he did resist Officer Williams while he was walking him into the Davidson County Jail? But why would he be walking him into the jail on an unsecured bond? Now, furthermore, they have nothing in the report stating what they had to do to obtain this man after he resisted arrest. They have no use of force reports. What happened when you called up there and asked them about the use of force report?
Well, as you know, y'all went up there with me.
Mm-hmm.
We tried to obtain this. They said that they do not have it. They tried to give us the runaround. They said the Lexington Police Department got it. The Lexington Police Department once said that the Sherrifs Department got it. Now they're saying that they don't do it.
They don't even do it.
They don't do them type
But
of
now,
things.
we will show you after this the video of the captain of the Lexington Police Department stating that anytime they have to use force, whether it be a taser, pepper spray, or hands, they have to file a use of force report. Now, I'm trying to understand what was a necessary use of force considering the man was in handcuffs.
Yes.
Why would the man be in handcuffs if he was under unsecured bond? If you was releasing him, you would have let him out the magistrate's office and walk out. Had you already been fingerprinted?
Yes, sir.
You already been to LPD?
Yes, sir.
You went in front of the magistrate?
Yes, sir.
They gave you your court date?
Yes, sir.
What did the magistrate say your bond was in front of them?
$5,000.
$5,000. Unsecured or secured?
Secured.
Secured. And then they tried to walk the man into the jail telling him they was finna get him. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, we can sit here and argue all day whether or not they said they was going to beat the man, but evidently they beat the man. And they said it was for trying to resist arrest. Resist what arrest if you're on an unsecured bond?
There's no need.
What have you been arrested for? Your warrant's been served, you've been cited, and released. So why are you walking them into the jail? Now, it was said in a previous video that after they beat this man, they took him to the hospital, which we will have hospital records to prove, video camera to prove, took him to the hospital, left him in handcuffs for how long?
About 4 hours.
4
and shackles.
And shackles. And the hospital will be able to prove this through video and witnesses that the man was in handcuffs and shackles. In the bed, hip, broke, crushed.
Cannot run.
Can't run.
Ask the
but
doctors.
But on an unsecured bond. On an unsecured bond. Now, when did they take the cuffs off of you?
They took the cuffs off me probably about 7 o'clock in the morning, right before I was going into surgery.
Right before he was going into surgery. Right before they went back to the magistrate and had his bond
I had to
unsecured.
beg them to take my shackles off.
Right before they went back and had his bond unsecured. Now, if he had an unsecured bond, he would have not been in handcuffs and shackles. And if he had did anything to cause them to use force on them, they would have filed a report stating so and saying why. All they saying is he resisted. One man saying he resisted down at the hospital the day before. Another man saying he resisted at 5 a.m. while he was walking into the detention center. But they never said how he resisted, what he did, how far he ran, or what they did to obtain him, and what process was taken after that. If this man resisted arrest on an unsecured bond, that would be stupid.
Sir.
Okay? If this man did resist arrest in handcuffs and stated that you stopped,
Gave up,
told him you gave up,
turned around and looked at him.
and they still physically abused the man, mentally abused the man, humiliated him.
Mentally, physically.
Now tell me how in your heart you don't feel like something wrong with this story. But this ain't all, because this is just a little bit of what we got and what we know. Just keep paying attention.
If somebody is injured or something during the process of our arrest, then we would include that in the report.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
you
It's
got.
not in there. It's not in there.
I got these right here.
It's not in there when they
About
dumped
running
him.
away
Nothing.
from officers,
Right.
And was issued a citation.
Well, what we would do is we would do a use of force report if we are the ones that use the force,
Yeah.
and then everything is encapsulated in that.
And if I yell and I scream my girl, you don't believe it, you don't believe, I mean, I got my handcuff behind my back already. You don't believe me. Taser, pepper spray.
That's what I said. You didn't have to put pressure
I'm
in.
not there, so I
I'm
can't.
just asking
answer
your
for
personal
somebody
opinion
else.
on it, you know what I'm saying?
I can't give you something like that without being there. You know what
So
I mean?
it's not an accident. Right. So
All right.
basically.
Give me a holler tomorrow, and I'll let you know.